It is time. Completing all live series collections and all no money spent. We're going to talk about how you too can complete all live series collections. Leave a like down below in this video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comment section how close you guys are to Carlos Beltran. We did it. It feels weird seeing Beltran on the screen wearing my custom uniform. It feels great. It feels relieving. I love it. And I think we pretty much have our team set up for the weekend classic. This is what we're going to rock and roll with. So in the outfield, we have Ken Griffey Jr., who, like I've said in the past, his card does not say he can play left field, but he can. He's got 80 fielding, 79 reaction. I get it seems weird. Playing someone out of position, normally that is not something you want to do. But he loses 4 fielding and 4 reaction, which is the same penalty as if he could play left field. And that was simply a secondary, so do not be scared. Don't be worried about it. Absolutely, they can play there. Carlos Beltran, he's going to be in center field. And then Corbin Carroll, he's going to round things out in right. I think this is a really good outfield. I'm a big believer. You want speed. You want competent defense, and we have that. You know, everybody is at least like 80 or so close to that, and they're all 85 plus speed. So we've got lots of range on the outfield, which I like a lot. Gil Hodges, he's the best first baseman of the game. You know, not only is he a good hitter, he's also 90 fielding, so that's pretty good. Jason Kipnis, I do like this card quite a bit. He's kind of an upgraded version of that Travis Bazzana, same team too, Cleveland, and he's just good. He's always got a good swing. I liked him back in the day, like MLB 16, his gold card, back when golds were 92 and below. A lot different opposed to today. We got Francisco Lindor. I really do think the best shortstop is just whoever out of this mix is up the most on inside edge, you know, whoever you want to play. Typically, I'd prefer Lindor or now Ketel Marte that I have them. And, you know, like Ketel's up against lefties, leaves a hole against righties. Right now, I think Lindor's the best bet because he's pretty balanced against both, even though the clutch is a little bit low. But shortstop is just a thinner position, so we got to kind of deal with it. Ryan McMahon, I've loved this card so much. I played him at second base, played him at third base. He's a marvelous defender at either of those positions. And he crushes the ball. I see him so well lefty-lefty, which is a rarity for me to hit well lefty-lefty, but him and Griffey just do a very good job. We have Jose Ramirez at DH. This is probably where he's going to sit whenever we get Scott rolling, and we're just getting him used to it. This card is going to stay in my lineup until probably February of next year. Ted Simmons rounding things out at catcher. And overall, this is how I construct the lineup. We have Griffey hitting leadoff, going to Beltran and Gil Hodges, a couple 99s. We have Jose Ramirez, Corbin Carroll, and Jason Kipnis. Then into Lindor, Ryan McMahon, Ted Simmons. With Dihigo off the bench, he can play literally everywhere, fill at a gap if we need to bring in a pinch hitter, for example. We don't have to worry, oh my God, can this guy play that position? Martin Dihigo can. We have Juan Soto for hitting off the bench. Pete Crow kind of as a defensive replacement / speed demon off the pine. And then Tim Raines, just a very good hitter across the board. Now, talking rotation, I for sure think Roger Clemens is the best here. I don't think there's any question about that. He is the only 99 pitcher in the entire game, and he feels like it. He's got such good per nines. He's got outlier. He's got control. He's got great break, and that hit per 9 being so high, that K per 9 being so high, it makes it almost impossible for your opponents who are typically hitting with 90-ish overalls. They just can't compete with those attributes. John Donaldson has also been fantastic. I think he's yet to give up a run for me so far. 17 1/3 innings pitched. He's been fantastic, and he's free. I want to point this out if you don't have him, because you're going to want him. If you play through the Jackie Robinson Day program, complete a showdown, a couple of missions, you've got some moment challenges, you're going to get Jackie Robinson alongside a couple other cards, such as Rube Foster, Leon Day, Rap Dixon, Andy Cooper. In that same showdown, if you complete it 2 different times, you're going to have all the different players. There's 4 in total that you can earn from the showdown pack. If you play it twice and beat it, you get all 4. Play through and complete the 42 series map. Once you complete everything, you will get this 87 Hilton Smith. And if you play through all the different storylines that are now available in the game, the recent 3, Monte Irvin, Judy Johnson, and Biz Mackey, with those cards being added, you no longer need Dihigo, Josh Gibson, or Satchel Paige. So you don't have to play online. You don't have to pick Josh Gibson as your boss. You don't have to make World Series to get Martin Dihigo. If you do all that, the Jackie program, the Conquest, 2 different showdowns, and then play storylines, you're going to have this John Donaldson, who is absolutely ridiculously filthy. Really recommend that card. I think he's probably the 2nd or 3rd best pitcher in the game right now, and you can get him for free. I would do it. But then to round things out, I have Logan Webb. I have really liked this card. Again, I'm a big fan of those control first pitchers right now. Obviously, velocity is great, but they're volatile. The pars are very big, and if you get unlucky, you can be leaving pitches kind of down the heart of the plate, which is really when people start to punish you. And then Logan Webb has also got a cutter, which I value a ton. Most people are basically using the switch hitter theme team, the switch hitting captain. They've got like 7 switch hitters on their team. So you're going to be pitching from the disadvantage. That cutter really helps you out a ton in those situations. The sinker as well. Andy Pettitte, very similar arsenal, just as a left-hander. And then Al Leiter. This card is very good. You get him for the Blue Jays collection. I highly recommend him. Very underrated. And then in the bullpen, Darren O'Day, 1A, 1B, best reliever in the game. He's fantastic. Per-9s are so good. Very difficult mechanics, hard to pick up. He's done very well for me. Lucas Ursig, this is kind of a value pick, a budget card, 12K. Highly recommend. He's very good. Trevor Hoffman from the Padres collection, also a great card. Ronley Fingers. I've mentioned this card a bunch from the Brewers TA. He's awesome. Rich Gossage, this card used to be like 150, 200,000 stubs. He's not anymore. He's 5,000, and he's got outlier on the fastball. He's a little wild, a little erratic, but he's, again, tough to pick up on, and he's got some nasty stuff. I've definitely had trouble facing him this year. Aroldis Chapman, Gregory Soto, and then Matt Strahm. Those are my lefty picks. I normally recommend like 3 lefties and then 5 right-handers, but again, with people using so many switch hitters, it probably doesn't matter quite so much. So how did we get here? How did we get this done? Well, first off, I'll admit the polls that I've had have been fairly good this year. I pulled Fernando Tatis Jr., not when he was in 92, when he was in 88, a little bit less expensive. I pulled Bobby Witt Jr. and Jose Ramirez, Mason Miller as well. Like Tarek Skubal, Paul Skeens, I also pulled Bryce Harper. I was able to snag him, but most of the big guns, like Judge, Ohtani, wasn't able to pull them. So those I had to buy, and for pretty exorbitant prices. I spent $530,000 on Shohei Ohtani alone. And I've got to say full stop, I made the wrong choice. I prioritized other teams first when I should have prioritized the LA Dodgers. That was a bit of a bad call. Now, I was able to get Roger Clemens quite some time ago. I've had him for 3-4 weeks at this point, which I don't regret. I wanted him for the first weekend classic. He definitely helped me out. We went 4-2 in the first weekend classic, got some good rewards out of that. But I probably could have got Shohei for 250, 300,000 less stubs had I actually prioritized him first, because he was going for significantly less. This graphic does not do it justice. On release day, this card was going for like 300K. And even a couple weeks after, he was only like 350. It's just now he's really ballooned in price, and I had to pay the piper. Which I guess kind of asked an interesting question for you guys if you're still looking to get it done. Should you wait on Ohtani at this point? It's tough to say. So we know the max price Ohtani can sell for is $750,000 because they expanded it. Previously, the cap was at $500K. SDS likes their stubs. They want their money. So they're like, oh, no, we'll raise the floor. Or we'll raise the ceiling. Now it's 750K is the most you could go for. I would think at some point these have to go down. We are starting to get within the power creep to a point where we're getting comparable cards. We're getting cards close to what is out in live series. I would think eventually that is really going to help out with those cards. But the problem is still like the shortstop position, for example. I think live series is still the best card that you could play at shortstop. A lot of times within people's teams, you still see live series plus an inside edge are some of the best cards of the game. That is propping up their value, and live series, as I said constantly, is the best thing that you can do. Because these are the only 99s in the game. Well, and Scott Rowland too, but it's kind of a different story. You get 3 99s or 1 99, and you also get a bunch of other players like Darren O'Day, like we talked about, the Kipnis that's on my team, Valenzuela, Trevor Hoffman. Live series is where it's at. It's expensive, but definitely that's what I would prioritize, and that's what I've been doing. I've kind of restrained myself all year on any new, fun, and exciting cards. Like the Jorge Polanco that came out. I'm a big Twins fan. I love Jorge Polanco. In real life, these cards. He was going for 100K. I could afford him, but I just had to tell myself no. And a lot of it was that. I didn't really go after any of the big chase cards, anything else. I didn't spend stubs unless it was on live series. No matter how good the cards looked, like Jorge Posada, it just didn't matter to me. I had my goal on live series because that is the most important thing. And some different ways I've raised the funds in order to get the stubs, Diamond Quest being a big one. I've talked about this a lot. I think a lot of you guys probably know Diamond Quest can be pretty dang good for progression, for stubs. And I fully admit, it is not for everybody in the sense of it is pretty difficult. You know, if you truly want to squeeze the mode for all the stubs it's worth, you have to expect to play on a higher difficulty. Because even if you go through the entire map, you likely are going to want to play that Hall of Fame legend-ish to have realistic chance, a good percent drop rate to get the card. Otherwise, you know, you get some packs for going about it, but, you know, it might not be fully worth your time. I do think this is great practice. I do always recommend Diamond Quest for helping you get better at the game. It's like when Showdown came out in 2020. I had a lot of trouble completing Showdowns. It was a feat. It was an achievement when I was able to beat one. And a lot of that could be said the same for Diamond Quest. When I first started playing it, like that first time a GOAT difficulty at a stadium challenge, it was really hard. It took everything within me. I was able to win. And GOAT is probably out of reach for a lot of people. But if you could play on Legend, which is a little bit noticeably easier than GOAT in comparison, I would say try it. Give it a chance. If you don't think it's worth it, if you think you're going to lose too often, don't play those high difficulties. Settle for a lower drop rate and hope you get the card. Realistically, if you play the whole map, you're going to have a higher than 50% chance. You know, you're going to have fairly good odds at getting the card, which those cards go for quite a bit. I think the best map in the game that you could play is the Egg Hunt, the Easter map, which you're going after Ricky Henderson and Lucas Ursig. Those cards combined go for a little less than 30,000 stubs. Realistically, if you could play through the whole Diamond Quest map, which might take an hour or so, and if you have like a 60-ish% chance at both of the cards, because you can double dip, you can have an opportunity at both of them, I think that's probably a pretty good thing to do. And I'll fully admit, it's frustrating to play through a Diamond Quest and not get the rewards. I've had like 95% drop rate, and I didn't get the card. You know, a strenuous game on GOAT difficulty, just rushing out to the Stadium Challenge. I win, and I don't get the card. Feels bad. So I guess it's up to you. If you could persevere through that, I would highly recommend it. I think that's how I got a lot of the stubs. It'd be fun to see how many Stadium Challenges I've completed it's been a lot. And if you factor in that kind of stubbage for what might take an hour or so, it really helped propel me up to afford cards like the 550,000 Shohei Ohtani. I probably would not have him today without Diamond Quest. For the umpteenth time, I have to mention it. I am a adamant sell everything. I did it recently. Every bronze, every common has been sold for my team. Every silver sponsorship, every alternate uniform, all of it has been sold. There's a ton of stubs sitting there in your inventory. The marketplace on the MLB The Show companion app is a far better way of doing it if you want to save your time. I would highly recommend downloading it. It's on iOS, the Apple App Store, or the Google Play Store. Get it. It's going to save a lot of time and frustration. I've also made a good bit of stubs investing. Now, this is something that I always recommend, and when points come, I try to bring it up to you guys. For example, the 20th anniversary. These cards came out alongside the game. They were in the Digital Deluxe pre-order bonus. Like this Joe Mauer, for example. He is 35,000 stubs. He was at quick sell value when the game came out. He was as cheap as he possibly could be, and you can kind of see the graph even prior to. He hasn't always been this expensive. Even a couple weeks, about a month into the game, they've risen so high. I will always be a firm believer if you say, I have X amount of stubs, what do I do with it? Well, unless you're actively going for a specific card, I would highly suggest investing in something that is at or near quick sell value. Like Joe Mauer. You could have got this card at basically no risk, and if he doesn't go up, fine. You can quick sell, get the stubs back, no harm, no foul. But there's opportunities where these really blossom. They really go up in price a lot. So that was one example. I know also with Scott Rowland, obviously we knew that this collection was coming out because the Jolt series, that voucher, that was in at the beginning of the game. They told us 415 was the big collection, so I knew we were building towards something. And 20th anniversary is obviously going to be a part of that. I'm looking for Hank Aaron. Here he is, 87 All-Star Series card. He was the first chase card of the year, and the card was underwhelming, so he didn't really go for a ton. Now he's going for quite a bit. He's also going for 36,000. So I bought this card, one for me and then a couple to sell at pretty much no risk because they were going for quick sell value. And I know saying this in hindsight doesn't obviously offer you that much benefit, but I think it goes to show investing is a good idea. If you see these cards at such prices, it's probably a good idea to pick them up because eventually that nest egg is going to pay out for you. And the same can be said for live series investing. Now, the first roster update, I wanted to get a roster predictions out for you to try and help you guys out. Unfortunately, we were moving. It just could not happen for me to get enough research into it as I want to have good information to bring out to you guys. But for the next roster update, which should be next Friday, it's not been confirmed, but I'm guessing the 23rd of May is the next roster update. We will have roster predictions, so hopefully we're both going to make a bunch of stubs. So that's really how I was able to do it. A lot of it is just playing a bunch. If you play the game, you're going to get rewarded. Generally speaking, that is something that I do really appreciate, although this game has its issues. For the most part, if you play, you will be rewarded. And you might have to work a lot towards the actual good stuff, but it will come. And with enough depriving yourself of what you want, for example, packs. I have not opened or bought really any packs. Minus one flash sale. I bought a couple chase packs. But besides that, I really have not opened anything. I don't spend stubs on packs. They're a sham. One pack is 1 of 50 odds. And that's just at a regular diamond. I've brought this up before. You can go and look at the drop rates for any pack in the game. This is a standard MLB The Show pack, and the results are shocking. The game will tell you, full stop, Shohei Ohtani, any given pack, you've got a 0.008% chance of finding him. And for your guys' information, we talk about roster investing. So Judge and Tatis, since they have been risen up to 92 overalls, they are now also 0.008% pull rate. So that's a big reason why those cards go for more, is they are more rare. You know, they're better cards and they're more scarce. You don't see them pulled as often, and that increases their price substantially. But on that same note, even though I just said packs are bad, don't open them, get them free. They put out this brand new conquest, the magic number. You play through 3 games. I'm mid-play, I've already done it a couple times here. Play 3 games. They go really quick. You get 5 packs every single time you complete the map. So my forte here is you score a couple of runs. You can play this as low a difficulty as you want to. Score a couple runs and kind of just quicken, bunt your way out of the game. Pitch through, it might take 20 minutes and you get 5 packs. And you're not guaranteed to get good pulls, but all the stubs add up. And yeah, I think that kind of wraps things up. I mean, otherwise, like the obvious stuff, I've played through the first and second inning programs, you know, so I was able to get everything out of there. I've played most of the active programs that are in the game, the other programs. I was able to make World Series in both occasions, had some decent success at Weekend Classic, Battle Royale, we were able to go 10-1. I mean, some of those things definitely help, even though World Series, you don't really gain a lot of stubs. I think the first time I sold the card for like 25K, didn't really get a ton out of that. So really, that is how I've been able to get Beltran and Hodges and Clemens, I suppose. But let me know in the comment section, again, where you guys are at in terms of live series. I can't stress enough, it is the most important thing to do, even if you seem far away. Just keep incrementally working up towards it, because it will pay off in the long run, and you're going to have 99s on your team way before they start coming out regularly in the game. It is very rare still to have those 99s, so if you can get them, even if it's like a month from now, that's going to be pretty big. Thank you guys as always for watching this one. I know we kind of rambled, but I like to talk about this kind of stuff. And tomorrow, we're going to have my Weekend Classic games. Do some gameplay for you guys. So those will be posted up, and you can see how we did in the second run of Weekend Classic, and hopefully, if they fixed anything. Thank you guys for watching this one.